Hey guys, welcome back to Sarcastic Remarks. Alongside my brother James to my right, my name is Ryan Chambers. We are the official Dallas Stars podcast of THPN. Go and use the promo code THPN the next time you go and use DraftKings Sportsbook for in their services and also Raycon in their services as well. The Dallas Stars do win by a final score of 8-3 tonight over the Minnesota Wild. I have lots of things to share about my feelings about this game, but James, I'll let you have the first comments here. What's your initial thoughts coming out of this game tonight?
That was a lot of goals. Yeah, I really don't know what to say. We kind of just went in there and destroyed them. I don't know how much of that was them playing a bad game because it was very clearly they did not have a good game from the get-go. But we also didn't let up at all, and we took every advantage they gave us. I mean, every single time they took a wrong step, we put it in the back of their net.
My comment is going to start off with this stupid tweet. I'm not going to name the person, but you can go and find it if you want to. But this is the tweet from a Minnesota Wild account, a Minnesota Wild fan. Typical Dallas Stars needing the refs to win a game. Hopefully,
Okay,
Stars fans feel good. I'm not done. Feel good about needing the refs to be good. Stars fans are going to get absolutely triggered at this because they don't know crap, translation, about hockey. Hashtag Dallas hockey. Okay, first things first, you get the stupid hashtag wrong and you don't even do the right hashtag. And what? You got to be kidding me, right? Are you absolutely kidding me? Completely went off. I went off. I'm not normally a guy that I use the Sarcastic Remarks account to go after other accounts. It's not normal. But when it comes to Minnesota Wild fans, oh boy, do I go after them. And this was one of them. I was just like, dude, we're not triggered. And I just took a snapshot of the standings and I circled Minnesota and I circled the Stars. And I was just like, you gotta be kidding. You lost.
It's not even the worst part, man. The worst part is they're complaining about the refs helping the Stars when the Stars were the 29th worst team on the power play going into the game. Okay. Like, your team has an obvious hole here. Obvious. I mean, you couldn't stop anything. You started the Stars power play back up, which is gonna be awful for the rest of the league. The rest of the league's gonna hate you for the rest of the season. But like, even if we had 5 power plays, one of those was a 5-minute major where you boarded our rookie into the boards face first. He's bleeding. He goes out. Probably has a concussion too. And we scored twice on that, and it was already 5-2 at that point. Or no, it was already 5-3 at that point.
So a couple things I want to hit there is just first off, the reason why I go so hard against Minnesota Wild fans is I am so sick of the gaslighting that they do to Southern hockey fans. It's not just Dallas. They do it to Florida, I've seen. They do it to Tampa Bay. They do it to Carolina. They do it to Arizona. I've seen it. I'm so sick of them being like, oh, well, these teams don't understand hockey because they're from the South. I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, seriously, shut up and get over yourself and stop with the stupid stuff. I have been around hockey my entire life. The Dallas Stars moved to Texas when I was born. Okay? I'm so sick of the gaslighting that Minnesota Wild fans do with that. So that's the first thing. Second thing that you mentioned, and that's probably the biggest bad thing that comes out of the game. The only bad thing that comes out of the game tonight is the fact that we don't know the status of Thomas Harley at this point. I don't think it was as bad of a hit as we've seen some other hits be in the past. I don't think there's going to be a suspension on this hit, but did he receive what he got? Yeah, he absolutely was a bad hit. And hopefully Harley will be able to come back.
And the intent obviously wasn't there. He was not trying to do that. I mean, he's trying to go in and just finish his hit. It's just it got awkward, turned his back, and then he threw the hit and he threw him perfectly into the boards. Like, you can't do that. You see that play a lot. It's always boarding. It's not normally dude hits the boards instantly down bleeding. That's probably what did him in for the 5-minute and the game misconduct. I mean, that's kind of just how it goes sometimes. It's a unsafe hit. That's part of hitting in the game now. You have to throw the hit, and it has to be done in a safe manner. You can't throw a hit and injure a dude because you threw it recklessly. That's why Foligno got suspended in the playoffs. I mean, it's the same idea. Yes, he probably was not trying to knee on knee with Foxa. You still can't do it. I mean,
it's just like saying, "Oh well, I didn't mean to push the guy's head into the ice like Jamie Benn did to Mark Stone."
No, that was intentional.
But still, you still did it regardlessly. Like and like 70% of the time, high sticking. Well, I would even put it higher. Like 80% of the time, high sticking is not done on purpose. It's done by accident. They're trying to make a play. They're trying to hit the puck or something. It happened tonight. Who was it? It was a Stars player. Yeah, I don't remember, but Sagan. It might have been Sagan who was trying to get the puck up the boards in his own zone, and he took a high sticking penalty. Was it warranted? Absolutely. Was it on accident? Yeah. Okay. But you're still responsible for your stick. You're still responsible for your body and what you do. So all of these wild people saying that the hit was not boarding and it wasn't a bad penalty. Like
the hit was boarding. The hit was boarding. No one's going to argue that except for people who are just stands of their team and don't want to see it happen. Regardless, the penalties happened and the Wild did nothing to stop any of the goals going in. I mean, this was a game played on special teams, which is a big part of the game now. And we absolutely dominated them tonight like we did in the entire series in the playoffs. I mean, the Wild obviously cannot. They have a gap on the special teams, and they get exploited every time they play the Stars.
And that leads us into that conversation is the special teams is probably the biggest difference in the game tonight. Obviously, because seven of the 8 goals were on special teams for the Dallas Stars tonight. 5 of them being, excuse me, on the power play, and 2 of them being shorthanded goals. So, I mean, what I heard from the broadcast tonight from Josh was that the Stars were 29th in the NHL when it comes to power play percentage. They were at 9.8%. With the game tonight, they have doubled their percentage on the power play to up over 20% for the season with one game.
We're right at 20% now, actually, which is ridiculous. But I mean, that we just went from 29th in the NHL, and now we're all the way up to we're 17th now.
So we're
we jumped 12 spots in one game. And I mean, this was all the goals were stuck behind a dam, and that dam broke, and they all came through, all in the same game against a bad penalty kill. Yes, we played against bad penalty kills already so far this season, and it didn't break through. We got one tonight, and they just kept coming. I mean, and they were good setups too. I mean, we had setups where it was just bang, bang, bang in the net. That was it.
And one of the things on the power play that they talked about before the game, and Razor mentioned it, is it was like one of the big talking points was it's the Stars' really bad power play versus the Minnesota Wild's really bad penalty kill. And it's crazy considering the Wild's penalty kill was really good last year. It was, I think, top 10 in the season.
They were doing good to start the season too, and then they let up 5 in like 2 games, and now they let up 5 in 1. So it's like they've had a rough couple of weeks over in Minnesota.
And then not to mention the Stars go ahead and get 2 shorthanded goals tonight. So
score them on their own power play.
Yeah, and not just the Minnesota Wild, but for the season, the Stars have as many shorthanded goals for as power play goals allowed, which is absolutely crazy. So I think, I don't know what the actual goal differential there is. I think it might be even. I think, but still, just crazy that the Stars are as productive on their penalty kill as they are allowing goals on the penalty kill. That's just crazy.
Johnson has 3 of those already. 3 shorthanded goals on the season already.
So let's go ahead and talk about him because he's had a ridiculous weekend.
It's not just been the weekend, dude. He's been this way the whole season.
But especially this weekend, I would say. Even more so this weekend. like he's been making plays left and right for a year and a half now, and everybody was like, "Well, this is his sophomore year. Is he going to go through a sophomore slump?" And we all knew that wasn't going to happen. I mean, there was a chance because we expected to see some sort of drop off during his rookie season. You know, you get to like the 60, 70 game mark, and that's when rookies typically get tired. And we didn't see that from Wyatt Johnston. And if not, he actually got better and he got more responsibility. He was given penalty kill time. And now, even now that he's been getting penalty kill time, he's not just doing well defensively. He's producing offensively on the penalty kill. The guy has been absolutely ridiculous and has been one of the brightest stars on this team to begin the season.
Yeah, by far. I mean, he has 5 points in the last 2 games, and it's been ridiculous since the season started. Honestly, I mean, any time that line scores now, he's part of it. He's the reason why they're scoring. I mean, he's the true center of the line. Last year, it felt like Ben was kind of helping him a lot. This year, it feels like he's doing it all himself. I mean, it really does.
Here's another interesting thing about Wyatt Johnston. He is 3rd, I think, in time on ice, if I read that correctly. Right? 3rd in time on ice tonight? Yeah, I think that's right.
A lot short-handed.
Still, that doesn't matter.
Because Sagan and Fox have both got penalties at the end of the night. But so he is out there with Lindell and Hagabah. But I mean, they killed that off. So,
but still, it's who is it? Heiskanen with 21-39. Hakanpää, who stepped up after Harley dropped out after the second period. He played pretty well for him as well. And then there's Wyatt Johnston right there with 1938. So he is the top time on ice getter when it comes to Dallas Stars forwards tonight. And he absolutely 100% deserves it right now. And what's crazy is he's doing all of this stuff mostly on the special team side of the puck. That third line is still looking really good with him and Ben and goodness, I can't talk daddy, but still he's taking advantage of every opportunity he's getting right now, and he's been excellent. So absolutely amazing.
Yeah. NHL stats have him at a 21 shot percentage right now, which is insane, not sustainable at all. But that just goes to show you how crazy of a start he's had. Everything that he's shooting is going in.
Which shows he's in the right place at the right time. Right place at the right time. So looking through the scoring sheet tonight, I believe there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people who did not get points tonight. Everybody else at least got a point tonight.
It's kind of a lot for an 8-goal game.
Yes. Which is a lot for an 8-goal game. You would expect a little more. Heiskanen ends with 3 assists. Pavelski's got a goal. Robertson with 2 goals and a helper. Obviously, with the 2 goals early in the third period during the 5-minute power play the Stars had off of the major from Duhaime. I mean, Jamie Benn is quietly having a good season. He had 2 assists tonight. I think that puts him at 11 points on the season, which that's crazy. That's pretty good for him. He's very quietly having a very good season.
Last year it was loud. This year's is quiet.
Yes, it's very quiet. Foxa, my boy Foxa, getting a goal tonight. And before the game really got out of hand, that fourth line, I kind of wanted to talk about them tonight, James, a little bit. That fourth line was the reason why the Stars were up early in the first period.
Did I not say that we should just start the fourth line every single game? Did I not say that? Okay.
You did.
Then we went and did it, and it worked.
And then Chris is not able to be with us because he's driving back. But
Foxa,
acknowledge Foxa, Christian.
It was weird because honestly, I don't think the goal should have gone in. He kind of shot it right in the middle of Fleury, and Fleury made a bad save on it, but it went in. So I mean, I'm not gonna complain.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Some people are saying that Fleury had a rough game. I really don't think he did.
It shouldn't have been like that 8-3 was ridiculous because the power play was just rolling him. I mean, he had no chance on most of the power play goals. But he did make they said it on the broadcast too. He made a ton of saves that were for sure goals for the Stars. I mean, the Wild had just fallen apart tonight, absolutely fallen apart, and he was. Razor said, I think, he said it was the only reason that we didn't make it to double digits tonight, which I tend to agree with.
Especially when the score was 4-2 there in the second period. It was absolutely ridiculous that the fact that he was keeping the Minnesota Wild team in the game. He was the reason why it was even close in the second period. And then Duhaime had that stupid hit, and that kind of blew open the game. But yeah. But so what other things have we not talked about?
The face-off percentage in the last 2 games. I mean,
that's a good idea. Yeah,
we were below 50%, which is the first time. I think I heard someone say, I don't know if it's true. It said it was the first time that the Stars had been like that in 6 years, that we'd been below 50% on the season. And we come into these 2 games and we get 60% on both nights. And tonight we had 65%. We won every single draw, it felt like. I mean, everything was going our way. And that shows up with our power play starting to score too. I mean, we win faceoffs, and that's most of the time how we get possession in the offensive zone on our power play. And normally we'll score off that first faceoff, and that's how we scored the first goal. I mean, I don't know what to say. And the nice thing is that we finally showed up for divisional opponents, which, like, a little annoying that, like, it took us this long to get that way. But I mean, if we're going to show up and destroy teams, I definitely want to do it against the Central Division. It's a lot more fun that way.
And it's a lot more fun when it's against the Minnesota Wild. Just saying. So let me ask you this about the Minnesota Wild. They're 5-8 now. Should Minnesota Wild fans be worried about their team? Because right now, Gustafsson...
They should have been worried from the beginning of the season. I mean, they had a really, really good year last year, and it took some heroics for them to make it into the playoffs from Gustafsson, who was it was a rookie season, right? I mean, you can't expect that again. I didn't expect Johnson to do it again. He did. There's obviously exceptions to the rule, and sometimes you do. The player just keeps going, but you shouldn't expect that. And it didn't happen for them. And suddenly their goaltender can't save everything, so they suck.
Which is how Chris summed it up. Yes, yeah. Wild suck. Here's another thing we haven't talked about. White Horse over here saying thoughts on the Smith versus Duhaime fight. What did you think about the Smith?
I didn't get to see
it. Oh, you didn't get. Oh, that's right. Well, I got to see it. I thought it was actually okay. I thought that. I definitely thought that Smith won that fight, and Duhaime was he was all over the ice. He was looking for people to bully, and Smith took him up on it, and Smith pummeled him. And
which is
won
really
the fight.
Odd because Smith wasn't on the team when we played them in the playoffs. Yes. He has nowhere near the same emotional interest in this game as the rest of the Stars, and he's the one that ends up fighting. That's
right.
So weird.
That was one of the things they talked about in the broadcast early in the game. Josh did is there's 16 players on each side who was in that playoff series last spring. So there's lots of bad mojo between those 32 players. and that's good for the league. That's good for hockey. And rivalry if the Stars are just going to obliterate them every single.
I hope they obliterate every Central Division team this year. I mean, the only team we should really even be losing to is Colorado. Our division stinks, honestly. They do. I mean, and all the goaltenders who were having great years last year are all kind of off this year. I mean, Gustafsson's not playing well. Hellebuyck's having a kind of start. Very, very bad for him, honestly. He's had a very bad start. He's below 900 save percentage. Yossi had a couple of games that he saved at the beginning, but it was like Colorado too, even. I mean, their goaltender is struggling right now.
Well, and they just lost their really good backup goalie to injury for the whole season. So I saw that on Twitter before getting on here tonight. They lost Pavel Francouz for the whole season. So
we should be destroying this division. especially with the drop off in the goaltending performances so far this year. Now, a lot of those can come back, like Hellebuyck and Yossi. You expect those to come back just because they're so good. But I mean, this Stars team is extremely deep, proved it tonight, and proved that they know how to score on the power play now. I mean, that was the biggest thing tonight. Scoring on the power play. Couldn't do it all season. Come into tonight and you'd put up 5.
And by the way, it's not Yossi, it's Saros, but we all understood what you meant.
You knew what I meant. Yeah,
Yossi Saros. I knew what you meant, yes. But I mean, you saying that kind of backs it up, James, with this stat. When you look at the last 10 games of all of these teams, Dallas is the only one that has 2 games. Well, no, that's actually not necessarily true. Okay, so let's just go through the last 10. Stars 7-3 in the last 10. Excellent. The Avalanche 5-5. They have been dropping. The Jets have actually probably been the second best team in the Central Division at 6-2-2 in their last 10. The Blues are actually doing okay, 6-4. The Coyotes, I kind of sang their praises at the beginning of the season. They're gonna be in a hunt for a playoff spot. I don't think they'll make it, but I think they'll be in the hunt for it at 5-4-1 in their last 10. The Wild fall to 3-6-1 in their last 10, and then the Blackhawks and the Predators are both 4-6 in their last 10. So you're right. I mean, that stat alone kind of shows you that that's true. And when you look at the points totals and the standings for the Central Division, Dallas is, and as they should be, starting to run away with the division if we can keep it going. They have literally got a 5-point lead on the Colorado Avalanche, and the Avalanche have a game in hand.
Yeah, 5 points this early in the season is ridiculous.
So I agree. So that's a very good point that you made. Is it really was the Stars and the Avs division, and right now it looks like the Jets are starting to push, which they've been playing okay. Other than Hellebuyck, Hellebuyck has not been playing up to his standard, but I think he'll get there. And then secretly, the Blues have been doing a little bit better lately as well. So we'll see how this division kind of pans out. But anyways, one other thing I wanted to talk about with the Wild is the way that they play does not work anymore in the NHL.
It works if you have a good goaltender, which they don't have.
No, but they even had decent goaltending against the Stars in the playoff series against them,
which is why they pushed us to 7 or 6. I guess it was 6.
But it still wasn't enough. It still wasn't enough.
I agree. And I don't know that it feels like this Minnesota Wild team was never built to win a cup in the first place. It feels like they were built to be competitive, and they are competitive, and they play hard, and they do. I mean, they still hit hard tonight. You could see people trying to get the team going, but I mean, their defense has fallen off a cliff. Their goaltending can't seem to stop a puck right now, even if it's not. You can't blame them.
Totally 100%. Their fault. Yeah,
but
I don't blame Fleury at all for this game. Not even in the slightest.
Yeah, still, I mean, you got to score, and the 2 shots they had, other than like the Lundqvist turnover, which is like, okay, whatever. It's kind of a young player turning the puck over. That happens, right? But there was both the other shots, the other goals they had were like perfect shots, top corner. That's how they scored. That was it. They had a turnover and 2 perfect shots. And most of the time, Otter will get at least one of those perfect shots. And I mean, Otter looked kind of off tonight too. He looked lost at times, but I mean, he didn't have to be good tonight. We put up 8.
So this was an interesting question from Chris right here, and then we'll do our biggest winner, biggest loser, and wrap it up. Is this a turning point game for the Dallas Stars this season?
I really felt like the Boston game was the turning point game. I mean, we couldn't score, get into the third period, find a way to get a tip goal, and then get a second tip goal, and then barely lose just because we ran out of time. I think if the game is 5 minutes longer in Boston, we tie it up and we're able to push to overtime and maybe win that game. I really believe that. And I think that's, I mean, I talked about it, and I keep mentioning this, and I apologize for repeating over and over again, but we were only scoring on the rush at the beginning of the season. That was the only way we were scoring goals. And now in that game, we finally scored a different way. We got 2 tip goals. And then the next game, I mean, we scored every different way. And then the Jets game, we had an even strength power play goal and shorthanded goal. And this game, we have 5 power play goals, 2 shorthanded goals, and then still another even strength goal. We're scoring every way now. This is the Dallas team that we saw scoring, at least offensive wise, at the end of last season. I mean, they at least on the offensive side are back up to pace.
For me, I'm in agreement with you halfway. I think half of it was the Boston game and the way they played, but I'm also going to put a little bit on the Columbus game as well, to be totally honest with you, because we fell down early in that game 2-0 to Columbus, a team that we should absolutely not be losing to. And they hit the gas pedal and scored 5 unanswered after that. So that's I think this game, it helps the power play, and I think it helps us go moving forward, especially with some of the divisional opponents that we have coming up in our games. But really what I think the turning point for the Stars was that game against Columbus and half of the game against Boston. So that's what I think. And I think we're finally starting to see the wheels really start to click for this team. The team was not playing well at the beginning, the very, very beginning of the season. It's still early, but at the very, very beginning of the season. And they still had a really good record. Absolutely still had a really good record. And now they're on a 3-game winning streak, and they've won 6 of their last 8, and they're only 2 they've lost to. They lost to Vancouver, who is a good team this year. They're playing well. And the Boston, who is a really good team and playing well this year.
And both of those games we played without 2 centers.
Right. And the fact is that the game against Vancouver, we had our opportunities, and the same thing against Boston. We probably could have won that game too.
Even though we didn't fully show up.
Yes, we didn't fully show up, but we did towards the end. Just kind of didn't work out the way we wanted it to. But regardless, this team is starting to click, James, and I'm excited. Biggest winner, biggest loser tonight. Who you got?
Biggest winner, I'm going with Johnston. I mean, I've claimed it for a while. I think he's had the best start to the season, especially in terms of what we expect from him versus what we're getting from him. It has been ridiculous. I think he's tied for the team on the points lead even. I think he's 1 goal under the goal lead, and he had 5 points in the last 2 games. I mean, you can't ask for more.
Yeah, you absolutely can't, because just for those of you that are curious, here is the point total. So there's a 3-way tie for points totals up at the top for the Dallas Stars. One of them you already said, Wyatt Johnston, James, but would you guess who the other 2 are?
I think I already looked at it. I think it was one was Robertson, and I think the other was Pavelski.
That is correct. So those 3 guys are up at the top of the lead with Hintz with 12, Ben with 11, Duchesne with 11, and Heiskanen with 10, all in double digits. So lots of guys in double digits when it comes to points. And with that, excuse me, I will give my biggest winner tonight to Matt Duchesne. He has been the Stars' best forward, especially the last 4 games, I think. If you look at a 4-game stretch, he has been the Stars' best forward. And he has made that line with Mason Marchment and Tyler Seguin look amazing. He's made them both look really, 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 really good.
What's a little frustrating about that is that we really wanted Seguin to be able to man that line. And he's kind of proven that he can't. And Duchesne came in and was like, okay, I'll do it. And ever since, it's just been bang, bang, bang all the time, no matter what. I mean, it really feels like Duchesne's helping out Marchment a ton, which is really needed, obviously, because Duchesne was out for 1 game and Marchment had the worst game he had the past 5. and honestly probably cost us the game. But he comes back in, Marchment instantly scores again. And then Marchment passes it right back to him tonight and gets a huge goal right after the Minnesota Wild had just scored. I mean, it's timely stuff with that line, and it's just Duchesne creating by himself. I mean, he's creating so much space for the other two to do whatever they want. And all eyes are on him most of the time when that line steps on the ice.
He is so much fun to watch. He really is. Absolutely is. Who's your biggest loser tonight?
I'll give it to Harley just because of the really tough hit to take. I mean, Rookie kind of makes it's not like an expected move, which is why the boarding kind of happens. But he turns his back a little bit and is just absolutely launched into the boards, like face first, instantly bleeding. The good thing was that he did get up. He skated off by himself, which is pretty much the only positive thing you can say taking away from that. That's what kind of makes me hopeful that hopefully it's only like stitches and a minor concussion at most, because it looked like he was like a lot of players will not get up from that type of hit.
That's true. My biggest loser tonight is going to be Minnesota Wild fans. Boo! You suck, and your team sucks.
But you deserved to boo your team off of the ice.
Yes. But I'm booing you for booing us, because the whole gaslighting thing. I cannot get over that. It bugs me to none end. That
I think anyone with half a brain tonight though could tell that the Wild just did not show up. I mean, you 8 goals on one night is ridiculous no matter what happens in the game.
But especially when 5 of them are on the power play, 2 of them are shorthanded, and only one is.
The other thing I did want to mention: Robertson scoring two goals. I mean, he had the empty netter the other night. We were hoping maybe that got him going, and it kind of has. 2 power play goals when we really, really needed them to. I mean, that completely iced the game. The game was not even a game after that. It looked like everyone was skating around and hoping that something went in.
I'm just sick of people talking about Robertson and saying, "Oh, he's not doing very well," and I'm like, "Dude, he's tied for the team lead in points. What do you want from him?"
He's just quiet. He's not scoring at the same pace, but it's like he kind of does this. This is kind of
I talked about this. It's just like sometimes he will go stretches without scoring goals, which is fine because he still is able to produce offensively when it comes to assists, and a lot of them are like either really good secondary assists or he's setting up everybody else. Like, I mean, that's just what he does when he's not scoring goals. He's able to do that. That's what makes him a great player. So, okay, I'm done bashing Wild fans. Anything else, James?
Hopefully Harley's okay. I haven't seen anything yet.
I haven't seen anything yet either. I've been kind of scavenging Twitter and Facebook and wherever else I can look to see what's going on, but I have not seen anything. So hopefully it's just, cosmetic stuff, hopefully just teeth stuff, and there's no major concussions or anything like that moving forward for Harley. So we will see. Thank you guys again for listening along with us. 20 of y'all are listening live. Y'all are crazy. It's actually not too late, so it's only 8:48 Central Time where most of us live. So don't go to bed yet, but yeah, be happy that the Stars won tonight, and especially over a really trash franchise that is the Minnesota Wild. Go and use DraftKings Sportsbook and Raycon for their services. Thank you for them for being sponsors. Use that promo code THPN. As always, make sure you bookmark sarcasticremarks.com on anywhere you have your browsers, whatever browser you use. And we will be back with you guys again the next game, which is Monday, Tuesday?
I don't know.
No, it won't be tomorrow.
If it's on the road, they'll win.
Right. Yeah, it'll actually be on Tuesday. I forgot. You can't have a back-to-back. That would not make any sense. So, along with James, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Hope you guys have a good, fantastic morning, afternoon, evening. Whenever you guys are listening, since Chris can't say it out loud, there's the GG Boys from him. But James, do a GG Boys for us.
Go join the Discord. GG Boys.